Have you ever pulled leftovers straight out of the fridge, taken a bite, and thought, why does this taste so dull? The same food that was rich, aromatic, and satisfying the night before suddenly feels flat and muted. But then, after a minute in the microwave, the flavor magically comes back. This isn't your imagination, and it's not just about temperature comfort. There's real science behind why cold food tastes less flavorful. And it all comes down to how your senses work together to create what we call flavor. Today, we're breaking down exactly why cold food seems to lose its taste and what temperature has to do with how your brain experiences flavor in the first place, right here on History of Simple Things. To understand this, we need to clear something up first. Flavor is not the same as taste. Taste is only one small part of the experience. Your tongue can detect just 5 basic tastes: sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and umami. That's it. Everything else you associate with flavor, like the richness of chocolate, the warmth of spices, or the savoriness of roasted meat, mostly comes from your sense of smell. In fact, smell contributes far more to flavor than taste does, and temperature plays a huge role in how smell works. When food is warm, it releases more aroma molecules into the air. These molecules travel easily from your mouth up into your nasal cavity through a passage called the retronasal pathway. That's how your brain picks up complex flavors while you chew. Cold food, however, holds onto those aroma molecules much more tightly. Fewer of them evaporate, and fewer reach your nose. With less aroma reaching your brain, the food feels less flavorful, even if the ingredients haven't changed at all. Temperature also affects your taste buds directly. Your taste receptors are not equally sensitive at all temperatures. They work best at warmer ranges, especially when detecting sweetness and umami. When food is cold, those receptors respond more slowly and less intensely. This is why ice cream doesn't taste extremely sweet until it starts to melt in your mouth. As the temperature rises, your taste buds wake up, and suddenly the sweetness becomes much more noticeable. Cold also changes texture, and texture plays a bigger role in flavor perception than we often realize. Fats, in particular, behave very differently at low temperatures. When warm, fats melt smoothly and coat your tongue, carrying flavor compounds with them. When cold, fats harden and feel waxy or stiff. This makes flavors harder to release and spread across your mouth. That's why cold pizza or cold pasta often tastes blander and heavier than when it's freshly cooked. Another factor is saliva. Saliva is essential for dissolving flavor compounds and moving them to your taste receptors. Cold temperatures reduce saliva flow slightly and make fats less soluble. With fewer flavor molecules dissolving properly, your taste buds simply have less information to work with. The result is food that feels muted, even if it's perfectly seasoned. Your brain also plays a role here. Over time, your brain learns to associate warmth with freshness, richness, and comfort. Hot food signals ready to eat and nutrient-dense, while cold food can signal leftovers or stored food. These subconscious expectations affect how intensely you perceive flavor. When something is cold, your brain may literally pay less attention to its taste because, evolutionarily speaking, cold food wasn't always the safest option. This explains why some foods are designed to be eaten cold. Ice cream, sushi, chilled desserts, and cold drinks are carefully balanced to taste good even at low temperatures. Ice cream contains higher sugar levels to compensate for reduced sweetness perception. Sushi relies on umami-rich ingredients like fish, soy sauce, and rice vinegar. which still register well even when cold. These foods work with temperature, not against it. On the other hand, foods like soups, stews, roasted meats, and cooked vegetables rely heavily on aromatic compounds and melted fats. When they cool down, the very things that make them delicious become less active. Reheating restores aroma release, improves texture, and reactivates your taste receptors. That's why a bowl of soup can taste almost lifeless when cold, but incredibly rich when hot. Interestingly, this effect doesn't apply equally to all tastes. Saltiness tends to be less affected by temperature than sweetness or umami. That's why cold snacks like chips or cured meats still taste salty, even when other flavors seem subdued. Sour flavors also remain fairly noticeable in cold foods, which is why chilled citrus, pickles, and vinaigrettes still pack a punch. This is also why people often oversalt or overseason food when tasting it cold. When the dish is reheated, it can suddenly taste too strong. Professional chefs know this and usually taste food at the temperature it will be served. What tastes just right when cold may become overpowering once warmed up. Cold temperatures can even affect how long flavors linger. Warm food tends to have a longer, fuller finish because aroma compounds continue to release as you chew and swallow. Cold food fades more quickly, giving you a shorter and less satisfying flavor experience. It's not that the food is worse, it's that your senses aren't getting the full story. So the next time your leftovers taste disappointing straight from the fridge, it's not because the recipe failed or the seasoning disappeared overnight. It's because cold slows down aroma release, dulls taste receptors, stiffens fats, and changes how your brain interprets what you're eating. Heat brings food back to life by reactivating all those systems at once. In the end, flavor isn't just about ingredients, it's about chemistry, biology, and perception working together in real time. Temperature is one of the most powerful tools in that process, quietly shaping how food tastes without us ever noticing. Once you understand that, a cold slice of pizza makes a lot more sense, and so does the magic of warming it up again. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.